So in this video I want to talk about organised occultism, because in the past I've talked about organised religion, and now I want to move it more towards organised occultism and what that really means. After the Middle Ages, when the Vatican lost control or lost its power, organised occultism was starting to take place through Freemasonry, because before that, the Vatican and the religion of Judaism was the only organised forces in the West what actually had occult knowledge, and it was only for the very initiated into their own organisations who had access to this. Of course, in the underground you did have the indigenous forms of shamanic and animistic, magical, esoteric forms, but they were largely very underground and not really organised in the same way the Vatican and the religion of Judaism was. Now, the Vatican's only really occult knowledge they had, or what they used, was medieval grimoires, which had formulas for summoning demons and angels and all that kind of shit. And in the religion of Judaism, you had Kabbalah, which is a inverted version of the true universal tree of life. However, moving on, in the last roughly 300 years, I would say, the Freemasons started to form. And I don't personally think the Freemasons started off as something entirely negative. I think they were heavily infiltrated. Though I do disagree with their formulas of magical practice, which I see as very Middle Eastern, if you ask me. A lot of their practices are very based around a Abrahamic paradigm. I mean, if you look into their Freemasonic lore, they're obsessed with the Holy Land and Temple of Solomon and all that kind of stuff. But they were very much an alternative to the occultism that was found in organised religion before them. And I've got actually a list here of the organised occult orders, and these organised occult orders are all, you could say, factions of what is called the brotherhoods that came out of Atlantis and Egypt, and all their knowledges anyway, but here's the list. So yeah, the Freemasons, like I just mentioned. You also have the Order of the Druids, the Theosophical Society, Rosicrucians, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the OTO, the Fool Society, the Anthroposophical Society, Wicca, Church of Satan, and Temple of Set. Now, all those ones I've just listed are all brotherhood and sisterhood organisations that use occult knowledge that came out of Atlantis and Egypt. But what they don't know, it was inverted knowledge via Sumerian infiltration. Now, the magic and shamanism and the occult knowledge I work with is not any of this. The magical formulas and the shamanic practices and the occultism I work with is something that is heavily rooted in my own ancestral templating and is a lot more of a European and Indo-European way of viewing occultism. The occult knowledge they work with, it all comes out from the Middle East. If you look into it, it is all revolves around there. And yes, I know they use astrology, which comes from Greece, and they use the runes sometimes, which comes from Scandinavia. But really, if you look at the primary sources they use, it all goes back to the Middle East. And to understand why they use it, you've got to understand the history of the Middle East and what was going on there before this infected the continent of Europe. Because there was a lot of drama going on in the Middle East before that all came into Europe, and you kind of have to understand why they use it and why they see it as very sacred to them. And the reason why they use it is because it's all a part of a agenda that goes back thousands and thousands of years to completely colonize the entire world. And through their bloodline lineages and their priestly initiations, they have managed to keep this agenda going on and on and on. Now, the fact is that the inner circle that I'm in with has actually got occult knowledge that is more superior to theirs and more original. Now that the internet has arrived, a lot of people are being able to look into this hidden knowledge for themselves, and they really don't like that because they want to hoard it and they want to only have people initiated into their orders and have signed certain oaths to their organisations. However, they probably now realise that they don't have the power that they used to have, and they really fucking don't like this. And the fact is that the inner circles that I'm in have the truth on their side, and they no longer have that. They know that what they're working with isn't going to work with what's coming.